So there's been a lot of talk about this whole situation with the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake and potential pre-orders going live, some type of release window for pre-orders from GameStop, but we've got to talk about that. We've got an update on all of that, plus a surprising AAA title that might run better than what people are expecting on the Nintendo Switch 2, and an update on Splatoon Raiders, which is dropping soon as of the time that I'm recording this video. So we've got a lot to get into. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Okay, let's start off with the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake for the Nintendo Switch 2. There was a rumor going around based off of a GameStop listing that pre-orders are going to start, but here comes Nate the Hate swooping in like Sephiroth in the Super Smash Bros. Trailer to rain on everyone's parade and let you guys know exactly what's going on. So he said this via Twitter: no, GameStop didn't leak the pre-order date nor price for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. For whatever reason, Google is pulling the release date and pricing information for Beast of Reincarnation, which releases on August 4th, and standard edition retails for $59.99. August 4th. That was the rumor that was going around for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time pre-orders, based off of a GameStop cache. So they just kind of messed something up. And remember, the GameStop CEO said that physical games and games in general are irrelevant to their business. So I doubt they got information well ahead of time for Ocarina of Time remake on the Nintendo Switch 2. It was a false alarm. It was Beast of Reincarnation, which, by the way, looks really good, and I plan on picking that up on the PlayStation 5. I do think a Switch 2 version will come at some point down the road, but yeah, I'll be picking it up double on PS5 and on Switch 2 later when it releases. But back to Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Now, Nintendo still hasn't given us any other information about this game officially outside of what they showed at the Nintendo Direct back in June, in addition to the little bit of information that's on the website about the game. Some of it was pulled, but then they just put up a standard general statement on it, so nothing crazy there. Here's the thing though, guys. There is going to be a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 40th anniversary type of event, or more like Zelda 40th anniversary event. Ocarina of Time is going to be in there. I think there's going to be other games. Could we get Oracles of Ages and Seasons? Something like that. Could we get some type of re-release of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds? There's a number of games that are stuck on older hardware that I'm almost positive Nintendo wants to resell in some way or another to us. So I do think that there's going to be something. They could do something very similar to what we saw last year with Mario's 40th anniversary, where they took a whole Mario block and put that into a Nintendo Direct. We could see the same thing with the Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary. Or what they could do is do something similar to what they did with Star Fox earlier this year and just drop a Legend of Zelda presentation where they're going over everything. Nintendo is unpredictable at times. We know they're going to have events. We know that they're going to do things. We just don't know how they're going to get it done. I do think that there's a variety of ways that Nintendo could get this done, but I am banking on them having a Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary Nintendo Direct, and that being either inside of another Nintendo Direct or it being a separate thing where they announce it and then we can just go watch it on their YouTube channel and on wherever else they feel like having it. So I think that's what they're going to do with the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. We still have Splatoon Raiders, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and Nintendo Switch Sports Resort all coming out before Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake, and probably the Duskbloods. That's also going to be released before Ocarina of Time Remake as well. So I think that there's still plenty of time to get other games in there. So I think that there's still plenty of time for Ocarina of Time Remake to get its time in the sun, to get its time to shine. But there are other games that need to come out beforehand, but we'll see how Nintendo actually plays this one out. And we'll also see how Splatoon Raiders plays out on the Nintendo Switch 2, because it's looking good right now. It is currently #1 on the Nintendo Switch 2 eShop, and that's in the US and in Japan. It's also the #1 game for new releases on Amazon, and it's right there when it comes to just the new releases overall. Only the Nintendo Switch 2 Choose Your Game bundle that is above it. So people are absolutely picking up that Choose Your Game bundle and picking up Splatoon Raiders. It used to be 50, but sometimes it's kind of going in and out of 50 to 60. Just depends. Some people are telling me that it's 60 now at this point, but I see it as still 50 on Amazon. Splatoon Raiders is looking incredible. I actually went and played it twice at my local Best Buy in order to see the demo that they have there, and it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's a real gamer's game. I've described this on my live stream, that it's all about just the content in the game. You have the raiding parts of it. It's pretty pick up, quick get in and get out when it comes to the gameplay. You have boss battles in there. You have various different types of weapons. You have the different gadgets that you can use. They're all customizable. They really play differently based on what gadget you use. I've actually played it a number of times, and I've used all the different gadgets when it comes to the more like the tanks, more like it. The tanks, and then you have the gadgets that can be customized on the tanks. But I've used the speed tank, I've used the power tank, I've used the technical tank. They're all fun, but I think that really to have a balanced, like if you were gonna have like multiplayer, having like somebody with the technical, someone with power, someone with speed, that can really do some really cool strategies based on what gadgets you have equipped, based on what skills that you have on each player playing. And I absolutely think there might be some things, especially if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, on the spicy modes. I think that there's going to be some stuff in there that you're going to need maybe a couple other people in there to help you out to get some of the best stuff in the game. But I'm excited. It's looking so good. It plays great. It runs incredible. Handheld mode, that's pretty much the only way that I've played it. Haven't been able to play it docked. Don't have a docked location that I can play it. I have seen other people play it docked, and it looks super smooth from what they've shown there. So whether you're playing portable or you're playing docked, it should be good. The Pro Controller is nice with it. You can also map the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. So if you have that, mapping some of the easy quick access stuff on there. But really, the control scheme is really simple. So it doesn't need it, but it is a nice little extra, especially if you're in the heat of battle. But I fully expect this game to do really well. Now, is it going to do as well as a Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3? No, it's a spin-off. It's a single-player focused spin-off that has cooperative multiplayer if you want to jump into that, but it's not the same thing as like a Splatoon 3 or Splatoon 2, that type of big multiplayer plus single player type of experience with all the other stuff that's kind of baked into a real Splatoon game, with single player, the cooperative with Salmon Run, in addition to having that heavy emphasis on multiplayer and seasons and all the different weapons that you can get. Now, it does have some cool stuff, but it's not quite as in-depth as that. That's why they're calling it a spin-off. But I do feel that if you're like me, and I like single player games more, this game kind of takes all the aspects of what I like about various different aspects with Splatoon games. I don't love the 4-on-4 multiplayer. I like it, but I'm not like in love with it. I'm not going to do all the competitive and all of that, but it gives you that type of movement and that range. It also gives you the Salmon Run type stuff where there's enemies and hordes coming at you, but those Salmon Run stages are pretty small, and it's just kind of repetitive how you play those ones. So it kind of takes that aspect, but then it also takes the aspect of the single player Splatoon games in addition to the DLC. Splatoon 3 Side Order, some of the rogue or RPG stuff that's in there. It takes aspects of all of those and puts it into one game that really is for like the RPG fans out there. So if you like RPGs and you want to like level up and customize a lot and really just kind of explore the depth of the different types of options in the game, Splatoon Raiders is for you. So I feel this might be my favorite Splatoon game based off of everything that I've seen, what Nintendo have shown, and based off of what I've played. So really looking forward to playing more of the game, but I might be looking forward to playing more of Lies of P, and I don't even like the Souls style of game. I wanted to get this title on the PS5, and I kept on trying to buy it physical, and it kept on being out of stock. And then ultimately, I just never ended up getting it. But now it's coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, and it looks like we're going to have a 60 FPS mode, which is really good. The trailer that they showed was 30 FPS for the Nintendo Switch 2, but they're working on a 60 FPS mode in docked and in portable play. Shoutouts to RPG Site. They got a chance to go hands-on with the game, and I am going to read off what they had to say. Now, the portable patch isn't ready quite yet. It will be a day one, so they weren't able to, I think, play too much of that, but I want to get into what they had to say about Lies of P, because I think this is going to be a really important game for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's a full on cartridge game. There is a full on cart version of this game. So if you like Souls games, you like RPGs, you like that style, and you like full on cart games, this might be a title to support on the Nintendo Switch 2. So they start off by saying there are two things to keep in mind though. I've had the current build for just under a day now, and I've managed playing it both docked and handheld for a few hours. The second thing is the developers will be launching a day one patch on August 6th that adds a new performance mode for handheld play with a 60 FPS target. Since I don't have that right now, and with this not being the patched game everyone will experience at launch, I've opted to not do my full comparison and only focus on the Switch 2 version with how it looks and feels. I will, of course, provide context for other platforms, but I'll save the detailed comparisons for closer to launch after I am able to test the day one patch. In its current state, Lies of P features a quality and performance mode handheld in addition to quality, performance, and balance modes for docked play. I assume the current performance mode will be renamed to balanced for handheld play following the patch. Lies of P on Switch 2 also lets you set the mode for docked and handheld play separately. This is a great way to implement the graphics modes because even now, I've been opting for different modes when playing docked and handheld. It also has HDR support, but I didn't try that out for this preview. After playing the opening hours both docked and handheld, Lies of P Complete Edition is a lot better docked right now. I say this because balance mode docked feels like a good compromise between quality and the performance mode. When playing docked, performance mode is a bit too blurry for my liking. The quality mode, or 30 FPS cap, still appears to have the same issues as on other platforms. It still has frame pacing issues to this day on PS5 and Xbox. When playing docked, Lies of P on Switch 2 didn't engage 120 Hz on my display in any of the modes like it does on PS5 and Xbox. When playing handheld, the quality mode feels awful right now, and I've opted to play with the performance mode, which appears to just run with a variable frame rate. I assume VRR is helping here because it feels quite good so far. I assume the modes will change with the day one patch, but right now performance mode is the only way I'm enjoying Lies of P handheld on Switch 2. Given how good it looks and how well it runs on PC handhelds, I hope to see more optimization on Switch 2 even beyond just adding a new mode. I also hope a future update or even said day one patch brings in the option to disable motion blur like on other consoles. It is a bit too strong right now, and I found no way to disable it when the PS4 and PS5 versions have this option. I'm saving my handheld comparison for when the day one patch is live, but those who skipped Lies of P on other platforms or were hoping for a solid handheld experience on Switch 2 will get that with caveats based on my time with the opening hours. One more thing to note is the use of HD Rumble. It is better than basic vibration right now, and I'm glad to see the developers use it quite well. I can see myself replaying the entirety of Lies of P on Switch 2 if the day one patch or potential future updates can address some of the performance and visual issues. Right now, Lies of P on Switch 2 is solid in parts, but also a bit lacking in others. I look forward to seeing how it feels right after the day one patch. Lies of P Complete Edition launches on August 6th for the Nintendo Switch 2. Lies of P and Lies of P Overture are available right now on PS4, PS5, Xbox and PC platforms. So yeah, this is something that, like I said, I wanted to get into before, but it just kept on not being available when it comes to the physical version. And ultimately, I never ended up getting it. So I'll definitely be checking out Lies of P on the Nintendo Switch too. But what do you think about everything that we went over here? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next one. Peace.